Adeleke reiterates commitment to fulfillment of electoral promises. Group faults Buhari over endorsement of 200 notes as legal tender. UK issues safety advisory on banks, ATMs. 6.1 magnitude earthquake hit central Philippines. Good evening, welcome to the Major Report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Osun State Governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke has reassured the people of the state that he remains focused on delivering his electoral promises with the ultimate goal of achieving the development of the state. Governor Adeleke states this while flagging off the implementation of community micro projects under the Osun COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus Program, tagged Osun Cares, and the presentation of checks to 40 communities in Osun State. Oluchi Amuda has details.
The event, organized by Osun Community and Social Development Agency, Osun CSDA, under the Osun COVID-19 Action Recovery and Economic Stimulus Program, Osun Cares, attracted dignitaries from far and near. While flagging off the implementation of Osun Cares program, the state governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, who stated that Osun Cares was put in place to cushion the effects of COVID-19 on the people, promised that his administration will constantly mobilize resources to enable the intervention of Osun CSDA in various communities while ensuring that the requirements of the World Bank are regularly met. The governor noted that his administration has supported Osun CSDA with over 500 million naira for the implementation of multi-sectoral and socially inclusive micro-projects under the World Bank-assisted Osun Cares program.
Our administration has provided enabling environment for development efforts to thrive. This development support cannot come as a surprise to anybody because at the inception of our administration, I have left no one in doubt as to my commitment towards giant stride of the developing communities. When I roll out a blueprint of our 5-point development agenda. Once again, election is coming. If we can be doing all this just within the shortest period, we mean business. For us to continue, come February 25th, you must go to the poll and vote in money.
In her address of welcome, the General Manager, Osun Community and Social Development Agency, Osun CSDA, Mrs. Aderonke Abokede, stated that the program is geared towards the preparation for the celebration of the first 100 days in office of Governor Adeleke. She maintained that the governor is working his talk on his 5-point development agenda to ensure that his electoral promises are translated into needed social amenities and development through Osun CSDA.
Less than 2 months when the governor assumed duty in Osun State, he has supported Osun Community and Social Development Agency, Osun CSDA. And that is where we are seeing what we are seeing today. He has supported the agency with a huge amount of money, 418,720,000. It is on record and unprecedented that this is the first time Osun CSDA is having such quantum at a time.
Governor Adeleke thereafter presented checks worth several millions of naira to 40 beneficiary communities for various community-driven projects that will be visible, tangible, and sustainable. Some of the beneficiaries who spoke in separate interviews with Osbc News expressed appreciation to the governor for keeping to his campaign promises to the people.
I'm appreciating the governor for giving us that benefit in about 40 communities in the state.
Inú mi dùn débi wípé kò ṣe fẹnu sọ torí pé láti bí 20 ọdún ó lé méjì tá ti dé ìlú wa tán pè ní Bakassi a ò ríru eléyìí.
Some of the dignitaries that graced the occasion include the Deputy Governor, Prince Kola Adewusi, Secretary to the State Government, Honorable Teslim Igbalaye, spokesperson to the Governor, Malam Olawale Rashid, a PDP stalwart, Dr. Muyiwa Oladimeji, among others. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
As part of activities marking 100 days of Governor Ademola Adeleke in office, the state government is prepared to demonstrate the Speak to Apps Act of the federal government to enhance maximum application of information communication technology in education, agriculture, health, and economy. The coordinating director, Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation, Mr. Murtala Adekelekun, made this known at the official declaration of stakeholders' participation. Said Adeboje reports.
Stakeholders in the private businesses, non-government organizations, and schools gathered at the Staff Development Center behind Government Secretariat Osogbo to deliberate on how to improve Osun State with the use of information communication technology. Speaking on the program, the coordinating director, Ministry of Science, Innovation, and Technology, Mr. Muritala Adekelekun, said that Governor Adeleke is set to make another history with his readiness to domesticate the Speak to App Act to the advantage of economy, agriculture, and health in the state. Mr. Adekelekun implored the participants to put in their maximum experience in information communication technology in a way that will benefit the state.
This is a kind of way to show or to contribute to the growth of the state, because at the end of the day, by the time this draft, we have the draft and approved by Mr. Governor, right, you will see that most of the contributors here present today, their names will be written in gold that they have participated in this job.
Noted that Osun State will be the first to showcase digital economy advancement in e-agriculture and e-medical as provided by the federal government. Mr. Adekelekun also affirmed that in the 100 days of Governor Ademola Adeleke in office, many developmental agendas in the area of information communication technology will have been achieved. From the office of the Deputy Governor, this is Said Adeboje reporting.
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke says his administration will leave no stone unturned in retrieving all funds illegally diverted or stolen from the coffers of the state. The governor disclosed this while receiving the report of the committee set up to review contracts and MOU signed by the past administration at the governor's office. Governor's office correspondent Ibrahim Adekelekun now completes the story.
The governor, Senator Ademola Adeleke, could not hide his displeasure at the level of pillaging of state's financial resources by people saddled with the custody of public trust. Senator Adeleke expressed optimism that all the funds illegally diverted through bypassing of due process and rule of law would be retrieved and be used for the benefit of taxpayers. He commended the committee for doing a thorough job by reviewing all contracts awarded and memoranda of understanding signed by the past governments.
A country or a state that doesn't follow the due process is a failed state within the shortest period. This contract review committee has done a human job, at least for them to recover at least 10 million. And then, of course, having a balance of 48 million left to recover. I'm sure even after this, I will see assignment to go after them so that we can recover.
The governor used the occasion to reiterate his resolve to positively transform lives of the people of the state who gave him the mandate in one of the freest and most credible governorship elections in the history of Osun State, saying that quality will be assured in the implementation of ongoing projects by just remobilized contractors. Presenting the report, Chairman of the Contract and MOU Review Committee, Barrister Niju Wulade, said the committee reviewed contracts awarded by the previous administrations, the cost such contracts were awarded, as well as suggestions of possible solutions to infractions committed by the actors who served in the past government.
The committee established that most contracts of infrastructure and supplies executed by many NDAs by the immediate past administrations were not in accordance with the State of Osun Procurement Law 2015 and Procurement Amendment Law 2019.
Barrister Wulade explained that many of the contractors sabotaged the state by not paying the mandatory tender fees. It has been Abdurrahim Adeklekun reporting.
In the meantime, Osun State Government has dissolved the Osun Youth Empowerment Scheme, creating the Mother Youth Corps. According to the Secretary to the State Government, Honorable Tetli Migbalaye, the decision was taken to reposition the Youth Empowerment Program inherited from the previous government for effective functionality, sustainability, and dignity of labor. Honorable Igbalaye said Governor Ademola Adeleke inaugurated the new scheme codenamed Imola Youth Corps in fulfilling one of his electoral promises to engage youth in the state for economic empowerment. He indicated that application form will be available for prospective youth in all the 30 local government areas, including Ife East Area Office of the state, free of charge, starting from tomorrow. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the continuous use of the old 200 naira note as a legal tender till April 10. The president made this known this morning during an address to Nigerians. He also apologized to Nigerians over the difficulties experienced in accessing this scarce new naira note. He said during the extended phase of the deadline for currency swap, he listened to what he described as invaluable pieces of advice from well-meaning citizens and institutions across the nation, noting that he similarly consulted widely with representatives of state governors as well as the Council of State. According to the President, as an administration that respects the rule of law, the subject matter is before the court of law and some pronouncements have been made. But to further ease the supply pressures, particularly to the citizens, the President has given approval to the CBN that the old 200 naira banknotes be released back into circulation, and that it will also be allowed to circulate as legal tender with the 200 naira notes, 500 naira notes, and 1,000 naira banknotes for 60 days from February 10, 2023 to April 10, 2023, when the old 200 naira note ceases to be legal tender. In the meantime, a civil society organization, the Center for Social and Economic Rights, has faulted President Muhammadu Buhari for forming only the 200 naira notes as valid legal tender as against the old 500 naira and 1,000 naira notes, describing such pronouncement as not only unfortunate but equally contempt of courts. Buhari had, in his presidential broadcast, endorsed only 200 naira notes as legal tender in response to the Naira redesign policy implementation crisis ravaging the country. The right group gave the position in a statement issued by its executive director, Nelson Ekujumi, saying it was a law as to where in the Constitution of 1999 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria the President derived the power to override the pronouncement of the Supreme Court via a presidential broadcast. Recall that the Supreme Court had in a ruling dismissed the February 20, 2023 deadline set by the Central Bank of Nigeria, saying that both the old and new notes should remain in circulation. The organization noted that the Apex Court adjourned till February 22, 2023, ruling on the Naira redesign, which has occasioned scarcity of the notes, which implies that both old and new notes should remain in circulation, while condemning the violence that had. In another development, the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria has said that the challenges occasioned by the Naira redesign may further reduce the life expectancy of Nigerians already pegged at 53. The president of the body, Professor Cyril Usifo, in a statement said the current state of economy caused by the scarcity of new naira notes may also give rise to cases of morbidity and mortality. According to him, the federal government institutions now reject the old naira notes and insist on payment of services through confirmed transfer services or payment with bank tellers into their accounts. He also berated the judiciary for failing to align with the masses in the current circumstances, as most of the courts in the land have stopped collecting the old notes from people to file processes in court registries. The organization suggested that all government hospitals should be compelled to initiate treatments, especially in the accident and emergency unit and inpatient department, while acceptable payment modalities are being sorted. Usifo further reminded the federal and state government to review the operational modalities of social insurance in the country, particularly to ensure that all endeavors are inclined in the path of lawful pillars in the plan of action. As the effect of the current crunch bite harder, Nigerians have called on the Central Bank of Nigeria to prevail on commercial banks to dispense 150 naira notes to Nigerians. They made the call in separate interviews with newsmen in Lagos. According to them, dispensing the 150 naira notes will help solve immediate challenge of access to new naira notes. They particularly noted in countries like United States, the highest denomination mostly in circulation is $100, noting that the country could emulate such countries as the issuance of more 500 naira, 1,000 naira bills becomes a problem. They said the development will help to curb inflation and attract more value to the nation's currency. They added that dispensing the 100 naira and 50 naira notes should have been the alternative pending when issues surrounding the redesigned notes would be resolved. Still talking naira redesign, the United Kingdom, through its Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, has issued safety advisories to its citizens in Nigeria and those traveling into Nigeria following the Central Bank of Nigeria redesign policy. In its updated advisories, the country urged its citizens in Nigeria and those traveling into the country to take extra precautions around banks and automated teller machines. This is as the United Kingdom government also informed our citizens of the coming general election in Nigeria, warning them of positive pockets of violence in some parts of the country. The federal government and the government of the United States of America have concluded an arrangement for the repatriation of the $954,807.40 looted by former governor of Bayelsa State, Dipriye Alamesea. Speaking during the signing of the asset return agreement between the federal government and the government of the United States of America on the repatriation of assets recovered from the former governor in Abuja, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, said the return of the asset followed the forfeiture and recovery of some linked to the corrupt practices of former governor of Bayelsa State, represented by the Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Justice, Mrs. Beatrice Jedi Alba. The AGF said the U.S. government, in collaboration with the federal government, initiated and completed the forfeiture proceeding against Alamesea. The National Examination Council has announced the release of results of November-December 2022 Senior School Certificate Examination. The registrar of NECO, Professor Dantami Ibrahim Mushiki, made the announcement in Mina, Niger State. According to the NECO boss, a total of 59,124 candidates sat for the examination, with 31,316 males representing 52.96%, while 27,808 representing 47.03% were female. She added that the number of candidates that serve for English language is 58,012, out of which 44,162, representing 76.13%, got credit and above, while the number of candidates that serve for mathematics is 57,700, out of which 43,096, representing 74.69%, got credit and above. He further disclosed that the number of candidates who got credits and above, including English language and mathematics, is 33,940, representing 57.36%. Also, 46,825 candidates, representing 79.20%, got 5 credits and above, irrespective of English language and mathematics. We'll now go on a short commercial break. The major report continues in a moment.
Hey, this kid, how long have you been 1,000. We go once play tire.
Farabalẹ̀ now. Madam, hello lówó wa. Brother, na 3,005. Màá fún yín ní owó pé káàdì Glo ẹlẹ́gbẹ̀rún 10,000. Ó yá. Bring your phone. Ah, 10,000. These no people now, wow, 1,000 naira credit. Now in also 10,000. No. All of us don't know about Glo Berekete. Ní ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá nísìnyí.
Ṣé o ti gbọ́? Ìlọ́po mẹ́wàá ló máa gbà lórí iyekíye tó o bá rà sórí ohun ìpè Glo Berekete 10 times rẹ.
I told you. Now what go there?
Welcome back to the major report. We now welcome to our sports segment. Christian Aswa has still not been located 9 days after the earthquake that had devastated part of Turkey and neighboring Syria. Aswa, former Bournemouth and Newcastle United wingers, plays for Ataspor in Turkey and has been missing since last week. More than 41,000 people are thought to have been killed and thousands of others injured by a huge earthquake registering 7.8 on the Richter scale, which struck southeastern Turkey near the Syrian border early last week. A 6.1 magnitude earthquake has rocked the central Philippines as government work and school will be suspended to allow the monitoring and inspection of structural integrity of the buildings in the country. Olawubi Okalawa has details of the story and others in the foreign scene.
The State Geological Survey said a 6.1 magnitude earthquake rocked the central Philippines, though there were no reports of casualties or significant damage. The strong and shallow quake struck just off the coast of Masbate province in the center of the archipelago nation in the earlier hours of the morning. Masbate Provincial Disaster Officer Adonis Delao told newsmen that some buildings in the capital Masbate city had cracks in their wall, including the provincial hospital, adding that patients had been evacuated from the facility. Masbate City Mayor Socrates Swason said classes and government work should be suspended to allow for the monitoring and inspection of structural integrity of the buildings. It should be recalled that a 7.0 magnitude quake in mountainous Abra last July triggered landslides and ground fractures, killing 11 people and injuring several hundreds. The Israeli parliament has passed a law making it easier for authorities to revoke citizenship and residency from Palestinians imprisoned over Israeli designated acts of terror who receive financial assistance from the Palestinian Authority. The final reading of the bill, which for the first time stipulates deportation of Palestinians to the occupied territories, was passed in the Israeli parliament, denized by a vast majority of 94 votes in support and 10 against. Under the law, a Palestinian citizen of Israel or a Palestinian in the occupied and illegally annexed East Jerusalem who holds Israeli residency can be stripped of their status after being convicted or charged for an act of terrorism and receiving money from the PA. The PA, which governs the occupied West Bank, provides financial aid to families of Palestinian prisoners in Israeli jails as well as those killed or seriously injured by Israeli forces. The new Israeli government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has pushed a far-right agenda since it came to power in December. It has since decided to arm Israelis in the wake of attacks of Palestinians, has expanded settlements, banned Palestinian flags, and pledged to annex the West Bank. The Palestinians said the settlement expansion threatens the viability of their future independent state. Settlements are considered illegal under international laws. Olaomi Okolawon, OSBC News.
That ends the major report on OSBC TV. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Thanks for watching. Good night.